Change to me means moving from a feeling of separation, isolation, loneliness, anger, fear, and pain into a state of peacefulness where you can relax and enjoy life as it comes to you, knowing that everything will be all right. Change is not something we should fear. It's something we should welcome with open arms. The universe has a way of guiding us towards our greater good, always. When you embrace this mantra, you're not just speaking words. You're inviting positive energy into your life. You're making a conscious decision to shift from a state of fear to a state of love. Let's talk about the mantra itself. A mantra is a powerful tool that can help you focus your mind and align your energy with your intentions. The mantra we'll be using today is simple yet profoundly effective. I am open to the flow of life. I trust that the universe is guiding me towards my highest good. All doors are opening for me. Say this mantra 3 times and let the words resonate within you. Feel the energy shift as you move from a place of doubt and fear to a place of trust and openness. When you repeat this mantra, you're not just saying words, you're making a declaration to the universe. You're telling the universe that you're ready to let go of fear and embrace the flow of life. If you're not in a love space, if you're not coming from the loving space of the heart, then you're in fear, and all those other things like isolation, separation, and loneliness are part of the fear syndrome. And that's really what we want to change from. We want to move from fear into love and make that a permanent state for us. The planet itself is in a period of change and transition. We see it all around us. We're moving from an old order into a new order. Some say it began with the Aquarian age, but to me, these are just ways of describing life. The important thing is that we're beginning to go within and find that we have the power to save ourselves. This is a wonderful, liberating thing for us. Now, some people get very frightened because it seems to be a responsibility, but actually, we're discovering our ability to respond to life in a way that gives us power. We're finding that we're getting a connection to what some call the higher power and what I call our higher self, so that we can contribute to saving ourselves. It's a wonderful feeling when you don't have to be dependent on an outside person, but to know that you have within you tremendous abilities to make positive changes in your life. If we're victims, then we feel isolated, in pain, and in fear, always looking for someone else to do it for us. But now we're taking responsibility for our own lives, beginning to understand how we can contribute to the experiences we have and how we can change those experiences if we don't care for them. From the moment you decide to make a change until you get your demonstration, as we call it, or when you get what you want, there's this transitional period. It's a time of releasing old beliefs and habits and learning, practicing, and then living the new beliefs, feelings, methods, or behaviors. During this transitional period, you'll have a lot of vacillating between the old and the new. You'll go back and forth between what you were and what you would like to be. This can be a frustrating time, and you might get angry at yourself because it's like, well, I know all about the new. Why aren't I doing it? I must not be good enough, or I must be a bad person. But that's silly, because anything we're learning takes time. You go back and forth until you're really strong in the new belief, until you've gone through the complete shift. You may begin to do an affirmation for something and you're doing well, and then something happens and you say, oh, I can't do that. And you go back to your old worry habit again. That's just a period of vacillating. It doesn't mean you haven't learned anything, and it doesn't mean you're back where you started. It's part of that back and forth thing. You're not settled in your new habit yet, and that takes a little time and practice and patience. You want to be patient with yourself. You want to build yourself up instead of beating yourself up. There's a tremendous difference if you think about it. Do your thoughts build you up, or do they beat you up? Be patient with yourself. You know, sometimes we don't need to make outward changes so much as go within and alter what we already do just a little bit. It's just a tiny little thing, almost changing 2 words, but it's a small way of changing the way you look at a situation. Someone else was in a lot of pain and they kept using the word pain so much. I thought of a time I smashed my finger with a window and I realized that if I gave into it, I would go through a very difficult period. So the minute it happened, I started doing mental work right away. I referred to my finger as having a lot of sensation. It did have a lot of sensation. By insisting upon viewing it that way, I think it helped it heal much quicker and helped me handle what could have been an incredibly painful thing, because I knew if I could alter my mind, it would be better. If we can alter the way we think just a little bit, those of us who want to change are moving from an old order to a new order. Lots of things are happening on this planet. I don't think things are so very different than they used to be, but we seem to be more aware of things. I see things in the paper all the time, and I think, oh my goodness, are we really doing that? We seem to see more negativity, but if you want to clean your own mental house, if you decide to work on yourself and go inside, you have to look and see what is there. You can't clean out the negativity if you don't see it. If you're going to clean your own house, it's the same thing. You have to look around and see where the dirt is. You have to pick things up and dust them, look around and polish them or throw them out or replace them, but you have to see what's there. If we're going to make a big transitional phase on this planet and help heal it, we're going to have to look and see what's occurring here. We're going to have to see what's happening and uncover the negativity. Things that have been hidden for a long time are going to come to the surface. I think part of this transitional phase we're going through, part of the catalyst for this, is this crisis called AIDS. I want to help create a world where it's safe for us to love each other, that's all. Just to love each other. A world where we can be loved and accepted exactly as we are. That's what you wanted when you were a little child. When you were little, you wanted to be loved just as you were, even if you were too skinny or too heavy, or if you weren't smart enough, or you weren't like the person across the street, or maybe you were scared. But you still wanted to be loved, and it's the same thing we're all looking for now, only we're not going to get this love and acceptance from other people unless we can give it to ourselves. When we feel good enough to be loved, then others will love and accept us too. It's really that simple. How do you give love to the world? What are you doing to create your own inner harmony? What do you do on a daily basis to make yourself feel good inside? Do you just sit and think about what you don't have? That's one way of handling it, but it doesn't change the situation. You're not going to do it by being mad at yourself or being mad at other people. And you're not going to do it by blaming people. And you're not going to do it by being a victim. So what do? How do you express unconditional love in your life, even a little bit? Is there a small area of your life where you're willing to give unconditional love? How are you experiencing peace within you and around you? And if you're not doing it now, are you willing to begin? Are you willing to start creating inner harmony and peace? Dear viewers, as you reflect on these messages and how they resonate with your own journey, we'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts, experiences, and insights in the comments below. How have you embraced the universe's abundance in your life? How do you find harmony and balance? Let's continue this conversation and uplift each other. Comment below and let your voice be heard.